Hi there, and welcome to the final part of this series. So, in spite of what you might have thought before you began all this, the whole learning process that we're working towards is actually quite simple. We iteratively work towards an optimal set of values for our weights in order to reduce our loss function's output. This is what we mean when we say machine learning. So, in order to do this, we have to alter the weights values based on the slopes that we've uncovered. And we'll only change them by a tiny amount so that we don't overshoot the mark. So let's say that after working out the gradient with respect to W1, we want the new value of W1 to equal what W1 used to be minus the slopes for W1 multiplied by a really tiny number. So that could be 1e minus 4, which means 0.0001. So we're taking a tiny step in the direction of the slope downward toward the valley, if we remember back to our 3D graph here. Now, if we print W1 before and after this expression here, then run the file again, so you can see that for this iteration, here were our original weights values in W1, and here they are after being updated. So they are, in theory, slightly more optimal here than they were here. And we'll do the same for W2 now. So the new value for W2 equals the old W2 minus the collection of slopes for W2 times that tiny number. Great, so we're getting very close now. And this file that we've written up now iterates through the network only once. We want to iterate through hundreds of times and keep improving our loss value over these iterations. In order to do this, we need to wrap up our network in a loop. We only need to loop from here downwards. So on this line, write in for I in range 1000. That basically means for 1000 times, repeat the following code. But in order to assert that this code is within this loop here, we need to indent it all. So add tabs before each line that you want to include in the loop, all the way down here, including our weights updates. Let's get rid of a few spaces here just to make things more concise. And we'll get rid of that comment there. So now let's print out the loss on each iteration through the network. So type in print loss and let's run it. So we're going to get 1,000 outputs, 1,000 loss values here, and we initially see the very bottom of that. But if we scroll up as far as we can go, we see, what our loss value was originally. And then scrolling down, so it was 37-ish, and scrolling down it went down to about 20. So the network managed to improve its predictions considerably over these 1,000 iterations. And another way to say that is that our machine is learning. And just to finish the job here, let's set up a Matplotlib graph to display for us our loss value over time. In order to show the results in a graph, we need to add the values on each iteration to a NumPy list, otherwise known as an array. So we first need to initialize these arrays outside of our loop. So write in loss array equals numpy.array, and then it's going to be an empty one. So round brackets, square brackets, square brackets. And then we'll need another one for the indices as we go through the iterations. And then, so we want to add to these with each iteration. So just before where your loss value was, or just after your loss value here, type in loss array equals numpy dot append. So we want to add to the loss array the latest loss value. And then next, of course, we will have indices equals numpy dot append. So we're saying append to the array called indices the value of I, which is a counter that goes from 0 to 1,000. And then we'll just add a few lines to the very end of our code in order to display the graph using Matplotlib. So we want to type in plt.plot indices loss array. We'll write in a legend for the graph as well. We'll say loss over iterations. Oops, put that in a square brackets as well. And then plt.show, run the file. So here we go. We have successfully reduced our loss value considerably over these 1,000 iterations. And we know as a result that we've improved on our network's predictions. Now, just for fun, let's compare the true labels to the predicted labels after all of this. So beneath your for loop, type in print odata and then print odata predictions. Run the file again. So having a look at these files, these are the true labels and these are the predicted labels. And as you can see, the network is still a fair way off in spite of how much it's improved its predictions. And that's basically because this is a very limited network, extremely limited in fact. It only has 8 pieces of input training data and the predictions are done on the training data. So usually you'd be training a network on thousands of pieces of data and you'd be testing the effect of your network on new data which the network hasn't been trained on. So what we've actually just done here is we've fitted a network to a very small sample of input data. So there are a number of limitations to our work here, but I hope that this series has given you a useful basis to go forward from. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the complexity of these concepts, but as with anything, once you really look under the hood, you find it tends to be quite intuitive. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.